Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Techie Tech Place, and just briefly I'll introduce myself. Myself Pradeep Kumar Singh. I have been working in this IT industry since 8 years as a software developer, and currently I'm working as an OMS consultant in one of the startup in Dubai. And apart from this, I have been exploring on many open source technologies which are used to build on good web application. And I brought here a good combination of technologies which we can use to develop the web applications. Whether we are going to use in front end, back end, all kind of combinations I have brought here. Briefly, I will explain about that. Then after we'll start discussing on this Django and Postgre plus Cassandra. Look here. These are the technologies which we are using for the front end and back end. For front end, we have the different languages and technologies like HTML, CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, Angular, D3. D3 is nothing but it's a data-driven document to use to visualize the data. PWA, Progressive Web Apps, which are very powerful tool, which are very powerful APIs, powerful web applications, which gives a native view like Android and iPhone view. The similar way we have a backend. In the backend system, we are using the language Python language, and we are using a Django framework for the web development, and we are using a lot of libraries as per the use case demand. We are the Python, we are using the pandas, OpenCV, machine learning tools, which will be used to recognize the images. I'll be using the Python, so many Python libraries we will be learning, going further in the tutorials. And we'll be learning on the REST APIs. Since Django here, using Django we can develop our web applications, even we can develop our backend systems as well. But my tutorials and as per my design, I'm going to use Django as a backend system where we'll be developing all this, we'll be exposing all the REST APIs for each and every small functionality as a REST web services. And in backend database, I have a plan to use this PostgreSQL, which is nothing but it's a relational database. And Cassandra also we are going to use as per our use case demand. Since the Cassandra provides the distributed environment, zero time downtime, that's why I have a plan to use this Cassandra NoSQL database. And Kafka messaging system I'm going to use to transfer messages from one system to another system. Suppose if you want to develop a low latency systems, there should not be any delay while transmitting the data from one to another, then in that case we have to think of the best technologies. And in this current market we have a lot of several technologies, but I feel Kafka is the better one, which we can go for it for messaging process. And Elasticsearch is a quite good things which it's very much required nowadays. Why? Because suppose you have developed web applications and you have every day you have millions of users are hitting your website, your application. In that case, and they're trying to fetch some bulk data, then how you're going to fetch those data? In that case, we'll be using this Elasticsearch. We'll be fetching all this data with low latency without any delay. That's why the main purpose of using these technologies. Thank you so much. I'm going to give you 100% guarantee. Be with me till end of this video, and for sure end of this video you will be having good things for your future. Thank you so much. Now, without wasting our time, we'll start the Django setup. To do the Django setup, first we need Django. Since the Django is built on top of this Python, that's why we need first the basic compiler of it is a Python. And we have to use the Python, we have to install the Python. Just go to the Python official website and download the latest version of Python and install it into your local system, whether you're using a Windows system, Mac, Linux, whatever you're using, just install it. and I'll tell you how we are going to do the setup for Django, then we are going to do the setup for PostgreSQL, then Cassandra. Okay, I've already created one local directory here in my local system, which I will tell you. Here I have created a tutorial, this e tutorial 1. I'll be using this one as a local directory where we are going to create a Django project. I'll just drag and drop here to create a workspace for you for the tutorials. And I'll just open the terminal here. And I'll just show you. First we'll switch, we'll change the directory to this. We are already in tutorial 1, we are going to create a Django project. First, before that, I will just show you what is the Python library I'm using. Python version I'm using. Python hyphen version. I'm using 3.7.2. You guys can use the latest version of Python. There's no issue in that. Now, okay. Now, to install the Django, we have to use the Python package manager, which is nothing but pip install Django. Once you hit it, it will install for you, but for me it's already satisfied because I've already installed this into my system. That's why it is showing no need to install once again. Okay, what I will do, I will create a Django project for it. Under this tutorial 1, I am going to create Django project. Then inbuilt commands they have already provided. Django community has already provided. Django admin start project run server. Oh, sorry, start project and your project name. I'm using project name as a tutorial. It will create directory for here tutorial. Under this tutorial, it will create a sub app tutorial, and then for manage.py. Manage.py is basically used to execute the to manage the server migrations, database migrations. All this stuff you can manage using this manage.py. And this nested app is created as a tutorial, which will be having the settings and URLs. Under the settings, we will be doing the database configurations, session management configurations, middleware tools, security tools, static files, external JavaScript files, external CSS files. All these configurations we have to do under this one. And suppose if you have a plan to develop the microservices apps, if you are going to create thousands of apps under your project, in that case, all this app need to be installed here in this under installed app list. You have to define your custom apps here. Then internally Django identifies it, and then after it manipulates on those apps. Middleware tools you have to configure here. This is a templates which are nothing but external JavaScript, external CSS. If you want to give, you need to give the directories. And we have the database configurations. By default SQLite 3 provides the database connection here. You can do using this database, you can even achieve this whatever I'm going to show you, but my main target of this video is to show the database connectivity with Postgre and Cassandra. That's why I'll go for Postgre, and you can follow the same for the SQLite 3. Just no need to change anything here. And these are the authentication password validators class. I need to specify here. And here we have the static URLs and all on the internalization. If you want to achieve the internalization functionality for your application, in that case you have to define this to and for and these configurations. Okay, without wasting our time, we'll move further and what I will bring the database connection for. I have a database connection for this PostgreSQL, and I'll be using the same run. Before that, what we need to do, You need to install the Postgre software into your local system. What you need to do here, the Postgre system, you need to install it, and then after you have to start the server for it. I think after installation of this Postgre latest version, you will see here PostgreSQL 10. I have already installed it. Just click on this to see the admin page. Just click on this. Just start the server pgadmin4. Once it is started, it will redirect to this one, and then I have to log in into this one, and then after it will come here. Here I am going to create one database. I am creating a database name as a tutorial1. Just I have created a tutorial1 here. Just under this tutorial1, you can find the schemas here. Just go to the tables. You will see nothing is there. No tables are created here. What I will do, this is the beauty of the Django system, which they have already provided. A lot of inbuilt features they have already provided. What we can do, we have to create a tables here so that we can log into the Django admin page. But to do that, we have to execute some commands, right? Then what we'll do, we have to run the migrations. Before that, you have to change the database configurations first. Just look at this database. What is the default configuration for this Postgre? Engine name should be the same. Name as per your database name. What is the database name given? Tutorial1. Host, the local host, you can specify your IP addresses. Username is the Postgre. Your how did you log in with this admin console? Just give that, because once you create a database, you will be assigning all this. You will be assigning a user for it. Who is the owner for this? And the password, as you can view, this is my local password. No need to worry about that. I have created the database at tutorial1. You can see as I show you that there is no table set created. What I will do, now you can just see here, if I run the server, Django server, still okay. Where is the manage.py? Manage.py is under this tutorial folder, right? Then you need to change the directory first. Now I'm executing the server. Once I executed the server, you can just click, control click, and then after you will see this is the UI of this. Since Django can be used as to develop the web applications, but for me, I'm not going to use the Django as a front-end design. I'm going to use Angular to design the front end, and then from Angular we'll be making a backend system called using this REST API, and this REST API is getting developed. We'll be developing the REST API using this Django. Since Django is a full-fledged system which provides the front end as well and backend as well, but we are using one part only, which is nothing but backend as a REST web services. Okay, to log into the admin page, once you click on this admin, it will show you the UI. But you cannot even log in here because there is no user in this one. So what I need to do, I need to create a table first. Just go here, do the migrations. They have provided, Django community has already provided inbuilt commands to do the migrations, like python.manage.py migrate. I click on this. What it does, it basically migrates. But why migration is not happening here? There is no migrations at all. I think I already did the migration. I did it already. Refresh it. No, there's no migration at all here, right? The database name is tutorial1 localhost postgre postgre. Okay. बस कैसे might be causing some issues. Tutorial 1 not I'll do the make migrations migrate. Now migration is started, migration is done here. Once migration is done, you can see here, just refresh this table. You will see by default few of the tables are created here, which is nothing but is provided in built-in tables from Django side, and we can use our application. We can use this design for our application as well, because they have provided a good features here. Table is created, but still we are not able to log in because data is not there. That means user is not there, authenticated user is not there, so the server is not running. We need to run the server. There is no stuff. What I will do, in that case, one need to do the Django. This is the beauty of Django. That's why I'm saying again and again. This is the beauty of Django. What we need to do here? Now we have to create admin user, super user here. Then they provided again. They provided a new commands to create a super user here, so that you can log into admin page. Keep blank. Pradeep. Pradeep. Tech@gmail.com. Password you can give anything. Okay. Now successfully created. User I have already successfully created. Just go and log in here. Now this will log into the system. The server is not running. Sorry. Run the server first. Server is running now. Log in. Look here. Now they have provided good features here, like groups, how to manage the groups, how to create the users, and what is the rules and all. Everything they have provided is good features they have provided. Suppose if you want to add a new user here, you just create a username, you give the username first and last name, confirm password, save it. It will create a new user as well. Already created here, you can see the tables here. Just refresh the table. Under this auth user, you can find the data as well. Just to go here. You can see one data is already created here. Pradeep. That's all we have how to connect the database from the Django application. That's all we have completed about this Django setup we have done. Now we'll go with the Cassandra. Django with Cassandra. How are you going to do the Cassandra? Now, Cassandra, as you know, this is a NoSQL database and which provides a distributed environment. In upcoming videos, I'll be preparing, I'll be making Cassandra videos, tutorials, but for now, this is not my plan to build a plan to prepare a video on this, but still, the basic information about Cassandra which I can do, I'm already going to tell you how to do the database connectivity and how can we create tables from these Django applications. Before that, what you need to do, you need to install the Cassandra first into your local system. What you need to do, just visit the Cassandra official website. Apache Cassandra, just mention AWS Apache Cassandra. Open source NoSQL database. Look at these are the features: hybrid, fault tolerant, focus on quality, performance, you are in control, secure. I love this feature. Cassandra consistently outperforms popular NoSQL alternative in benchmark and real applications, primarily because of fundamental architectural choice. Distributed, I love this one. Because Cassandra is suitable for applications that cannot afford to lose data. Even when an entire data center goes down, there is no single point of failure. There are no network bottlenecks. Every node is the cluster is identical. Remember these things. How benefit of it using this Cassandra with our applications. Zero downtime. Even there is no loss of data. I have seen being in the supply chain system software development products. I have seen we have used a lot of MySQL database, Oracle database, and we have seen a lot of complaints about the data. We have faced a lot of issues to manage this data, millions of data. That's very tough to manage this data. That's why we decided to go for better database technologies, which is nothing but Cassandra. I think my camera battery is going to be down. I cannot record this. I'll stop this video and later I'll prepare a Cassandra connection with the Django project. Thank you so much for being with me, and hopefully I will be bringing a lot of videos on this latest technologies with the real time scenarios. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with me.